Hello, everyone, and welcome to our practice today. My name's Mary, and as always, I caution everyone who takes on practicing a new exercise to make sure that they're in good standing with their health, that they've consulted their doctor if they have any concerns, and always to make sure you've got tons of space. So this is a perfect time to make sure you can reach above your head, in front of you. You can do some twists so that we're not going to accidentally knock anything over when we're doing our practice, especially if we're at home or not in a regular gym environment, sort of like mine. Not a typical gym environment because I'm in the jungle, but definitely a space where I don't have to worry about hitting anything. So that being said, why don't we just come down to our mat? I always like to start seated, but of course, feel free to grab any position that you would like. And again, I just want us to start to get in touch with our body. Doesn't matter what time of day that you're doing your practice, whether it's first thing in the morning, whether it's at lunch, whether it's in the evening. We're always thinking. We've always got something on our mind. So at this point, we just kind of want to let go of anything that's not serving us for the next, you know, maybe 45 minutes to 60 minutes, and just settle into a nice, comfortable seated position. Again, I like to sit cross legged. Some of you might like to sit with one leg on top of the other. Some of you might like to take the full lotus pose, especially if the knees are causing you any kind of issue. I don't recommend this pose. Again, it's not about the pose, it's about you being able to be comfortable, seated, and preferably with an upright posture in the spine. If you need to grab a block and you have a yoga block around, little pillow or blanket or towel, you can tuck it underneath your tailbone, and then you're able to sit up nice and tall. So again, whatever position makes sense to you to just be in a nice state of relaxation. Maybe if you're seated, you can rock a little side to side, get the grounding on both sides of the body down a little equally on the ground. And then once we've done that, I just need you to close your eyes. That's all. Once your eyes are closed, I just want you to relax your shoulders. My hands happen to be on my knees, but they can float, palms up, palms down, doesn't matter. Then I just want you to take a nice deep breath in, fully expand your lungs right into the belly, big full breath. And then just let it go. Let's do that a couple of times. Great big inhale, get all that oxygen in. Then let it go. And one more time. Great big inhale. Let it go. Now, anytime during our practice, posture doesn't work for you, it's a little too intense, or something's strayed your mind so that you're not fully into doing the movement that we're doing, feel free to come to your mat at any time and take a nice deep breath. It works in yoga and it works in the real life. So now that we've taken a couple of those deep breaths, go ahead and take your shoulders all the way up to your ears. Then I want you to slide them back and pull them down. Let's do that again. Big inhale, rise those shoulders up, pull your shoulder blades together, and then slide them back and down. Two more times. Inhale, exhale, back and down. One more time. Big inhale, exhale, back and down. Let's add our arms now. Inhale, look up to the sky, cervical spine gets involved. Exhale, tuck your chin to your chest, bring those hands down through heart center. We'll do that two more times. Big reach for the side walls, reach for the ceiling, and then exhale, bring yourself down through heart center. One more time. Big inhale, inhaling with movement, exhaling with another movement. Bring those hands all the way up to the top. Reach all the way up. Interlace your fingers. Look up into the sky. And then just lean over to your right side. Keep your left butt cheek down, grounded. Big inhale, come all the way up. And then do it to the other side. Go ahead, do it one more time each way. Keeping left butt cheek down as you tip right. Coming up through the center, keeping right butt cheek down as you go to the left. And bringing yourself through center, hands down. Let's go ahead and make our way to all fours now. And on all fours, you're just spreading your fingertips nice and wide. You're gripping the mat with your fingertips. Your knees are underneath your hips. Toes are tucked. And we're just going to do a couple of cat-cows here to really get into the spine. So we're going to inhale, roll the spine up, tuck your chin into your chest, take a look at your belly button, press into the tips of your toes, press into your fingertips. And then exhale, drop that belly button, tip the tailbone, lift the head, and look to the sky. Let's do that a little bit faster with your own perfect breath. Inhale and rise up, chin tucked, fingertips press, look at the belly button. Exhale, lower your belly, look up to the sky, and your tailbone floats up. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Good. Let's go ahead and come into our flat back here. Fingertips spread nice and wide. Knees again underneath the hips. If you need padding for those knees, go ahead and do so. There's nothing wrong with protecting those knees. Shoulders, roll them back. And then just take your front leg and send it all the way out. Okay? Now we want the weight of our chest just a little forward of our palms. Okay? And then I just want you to lift up that back leg, point the toe, and then flex the heel, tap the toe down. Inhale, point. Exhale, tap. Remember, we're just warming up. Inhale. I want you to feel your ankle. Exhale. Inhale. We're trying to keep weight equal in both sides of our body. We're not pressing into one hand more than the other. Our hips are level, and we're just flexing at the heel and then extending. One more time. And then we're going to hold it up. Okay, so we're pointing with an extension. And then we're taking our elbows and flipping them to the front. So the crease is to the front. Now, if you have to take your hands a little bit wider, that's fine. But if you have them just outside of your shoulders, you're going to be able to work your tricep and your chest. So you can go ahead and tip forward, bringing your chin towards your mat. It does not have to touch. Press through every fingertip and your palm and come back to that tabletop. The toe leads the way as you come up, using your back, your chest, your triceps, and then come back. We've got 3 more. So exhale down, inhale, rise up. 2 more, exhale, and inhale. Last one with the dive. Maybe your nose and your forehead touch this time, maybe not. Come back into tabletop. Now we're just going to go ahead and take that toe and flex it. Once it's flexed, we're going to tap it down and we're going to lift it back up again. Tap it down, lift it up. Tap it down, lift it up. Tap it down and hold. All right, so you can either put that foot down if you need to at any time, but if you're okay, to walk your fingers in the back hand out, and we're going to lift that hand out. Energy through the heel, point the toes down, energy through the fingertips. Okay, now we're going to take that hand and flex at the wrist and bring it down to put it down. And then we're just going to swipe it up and put your fingertips down the other way. So exhale and inhale. The leg is straight, your core is strong, and we're just painting the wall in front of us with our palm. Don't worry if you have to touch down, it's fine to touch down. If you can float through, that's fine too. And then we'll do it one more time. Down and up and hold. Okay, so my heel is flexed and my palm is flexed. So we're going to bring it in with the flex. So bring it in with the flex and then point to come out. In with the flex. Both my hand and my foot are flexing and extending. Let's do this a couple more times. Push and pull. Last one, push and pull and release it down. Okay, feet outside your hips, big toes touch, push back into a child's pose. Now let's make this child's pose active. So I'm up high and I'm reaching forward on my mat. Use your fingertips to stretch yourself out and really lengthen that spine right into the lats. Chin down on the mat, forehead on the mat, maybe your head floats, but I just want you really to be active here. Bring that rib cage down to the floor. A couple of nice deep breaths here. Then we're going to walk ourselves up to a seated position. We're going to interlace our fingers, and we're just going to hold them in front of us. Go ahead and press your fingers out. You're going to take your right hand, drop it down as your left comes up, and then switch to the other side. So we're dropping our back shoulder, lifting the right one up, and then switching again. One more time. Right shoulder comes up, and then the left one goes down, whichever way you're doing it. Push your hands out in front of you. Inhale all the way up. Exhale over to one side. It doesn't really matter. I'm going away. And then come back up to the center and over to the other side. One more time. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Go ahead and take your hands and give them a shake. We're going to do everything on the other side. So again, if you need a little bit of cushioning for those wrists, I recommend rolling up the mat so that your fingertips are a little lower than your wrists. If you're okay to have your fingertips spread nice and wide, go ahead and do it. You can also make fists for wrists. That's always a much more of a challenge, I find, putting the pressure down through the fist. But if you are dealing with wrist issues, that is an excellent way to prevent any kind of strain on that wrist. Now, shoulders back and down, knees underneath the hips, toes are tucked, and we are bringing our hands just a little bit forward so that we can have the weight of our chest just forward of those hands. Okay. Again, option is always to take a break. We're sliding the back leg out this time. Okay. And once we've got the back leg out, we're just lifting it up to hip height. Okay. And we're going to point the toe and flex to come down. Really squeeze your butt and picture that you have something on your back that you don't want to tip. Now I've got a cell phone here, and we all know we don't like to drop our cell phones. So I'm going to put mine on my back. I don't recommend you do that, but a yoga block, a book, something that's not going to matter to you. But you shouldn't be able to tip it off. You should be able to, let's stay in the positive, you should be able to keep it on your back. So point and flex and point and flex. Brace that core. All right. So we are removing anything. I just put that there for you to understand, because now if you have anything on your back, it will most definitely come off because we're going to tip. All right. So fingertips spread nice and wide. The crease of the elbows to the front. We're going to go ahead and dip down, touch your head, and come back up. Okay. Down and tip as the foot leads the way up, and then you come back to the tabletop. Let's do 3 more. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Last one. Exhale. Inhale. All right. Shoulders away from the ear, bracing your core. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is just flex at the heel. Once you've got that heel flexed, go ahead and walk your hand out. Okay. We're going to take it up, and we're going to hold in a flex here. We're going to take that hand down, and then we're going to flip it on the way up. Exhale, and inhale, flip. Exhale, inhale, flip. Exhale, push the energy out of the heels and up. Brace your core. Remember that flat back as if you have a cell phone resting on your pelvis. One more time. Okay, and hold. We've got a flex in our hand. We've got a flex in our foot. And we're going to bring it in. And then we're going to press it out with the point. Exhale in and out. Now this is to get your mind going, to get your wrists and your ankles to flex. Again, we're in shoes a lot. We are playing with handheld devices like our cell phones. So we don't get a lot of this motion. So I want you to brain tease yourself, trying to remember which way to go. And don't worry if you're opposite to me. Maybe I'm even wrong. There's no right or wrong in your practice. There just is. Being here in the moment, having some fun. All right, let's hold it out. Good. place the hand down, place the knee down, and go ahead and sit back into your child's pose. Active child's pose, reaching all the way forward, sending your butt to your heels, bringing your rib cage down towards the mat, maybe your chin, maybe your forehead. Couple more breaths. All right. Let's go ahead and get off these hands for a bit. Come on to a side lying posture. Okay. You can either come up onto the elbows stacked over shoulder, or you can lie down, whatever you would prefer. Okay. So once you've got that going on, I want your heels in line with your bum, and then your hips and your shoulders and your feet are all in line. Okay. Fingertip in front of you, just to keep stability at first. Lift up your chest. We're just going to go ahead and lift up the knee and then drop it back down. Now again, here's what I want you to do. You can put your hand on your hip. I don't want your hip to tip backwards, and my elbow goes with me. So what I'm going to do is keep my hand on my hip. They're all in alignment, and I'm just lifting the knee. It's not going to be much higher. It's not about the height. It's about getting deep into your hip muscles, and then drop it back down. Inhale, lift up, and drop it back down. Now, if you need that support so that you're not leaning back, put the hand down. And if you feel like you've got balance and the shoulder issue is not a problem, go ahead and lift your hand up. Okay, let's do a couple more of these ones. Up and down. Last one. Up and down. All right, so that feels pretty good. Now we're going to keep our knees together. We're just going to lift up our ankle and then touch the ankles down. Okay, again, watch that hip. Shouldn't be moving around. And down, up. Keep those knees squeezed together and down. One more time, up and down. Let's go ahead and do the two together. Lift the knee, tap the knee down, lift the ankle, and tap it down. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Let's do that two more times. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. External rotation at the hip, tap it down. Internal rotation at the hip, and tap it down. All right. Now, if you are good here, you can stay with this one. If you need to come down, go ahead and do that. So we've got that hip warm. We're going to lift the foot up into the air. Okay? We're going to take the knee and tap it down, lift it up, and then tap the toe and the ankle. So knee up in the air, heel and toe up in the air. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. You should be starting to feel this a little bit. If you're not, don't worry. We've got more. Tap and up. One more time. Tap, up, tap, up. All right, adding on. Lift up that chest. Make sure we're not sinking. All right, leg is in the air. We're going to tap down, up, tap down, up, kick. Okay, tap knee, tap heel, kick. Okay, now the kick is like flicking mud off of your toe. So let the release go in the ankle. So 1, 2, flick. 1, 2, flick. All right, so internal, external rotation, and then a flick. Mimicking stuff that we would do in real life. Yeah. Go for 2 more. Tap, tap. I'm hoping you're feeling this now. Kick. Last one. Tap, tap, kick, and release. Whew. You can feel free to massage that butt out. You can go ahead and come back through the center. All right, let's go to the other side, because why not? We've got 2 sides. All right, so setting ourselves up, knowing our options. If we have a shoulder issue, we can come down. If we have an elbow issue, we can be here. It's the same deal, okay? If you would like to prop yourself up, elbow underneath the shoulder, hand in the front for support. We don't want to lean back, okay? And we want to have those feet in line with our hips, in line with our shoulders. So once we've got that straight line, we're prepping the hip on this side, okay? So again, I like to have my hand on my hip elbow stays high. And then we can make sure that when we lift our knees, there I'm all stacked up properly. Then when I lift up my knee, I can make sure that I'm not leaning back. Okay. The other way is to make sure you stay a little bit forward, and that will prevent you from using your tilt from your spine. This is a spine work as opposed to deep into the hip. All right, so keep the chest open and bring it down if you want balance. Hand up overhead or in the air, not overhead, stack over your shoulder. Okay, let's just try that breathing. Inhale, exhale. One more time, big inhale. Exhale, put the knee down. Okay, just the heel. Lift up. Ooh, that one's a little tight on this side for me. And again, we're not looking for height. We're looking for you to be able to keep everything braced. Core. Always have a core brace. Your strength comes from how strong your core is. Okay, so the core is braced, and then we're just doing that internal rotation from the hip by lifting that foot up. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, exhale. One more. Inhale and exhale. Okay, you're good. You can stay here. Not a problem. If you would like a little bit more, go ahead and float the knee into the air. Right away, you're feeling your butt start to work. Okay, let's add in hip work. Core locks on to keep you straight. Working our shoulder girdle if you're on your shoulder. If you're down, you're taking the pressure off of the shoulder girdle. It's all good. All right, so knee tap. Exhale. Inhale, then tap and up. Exhale. Inhale, exhale, and inhale. Couple more times. And exhale. Let's do it again. Tap and lift. Tap and lift. 2 more. I think 2 more. Tap. Let's really own these ones. Brace your core and tap. One more time. Knees tap together. Make it slow. Make it intentional. Right? This is mind body. This is intentional movement. This isn't just going for the sake of going, right? Okay. When we're going for a bus, we're running to work, we're doing something, running after a kid. That's going for going. This is all about you and your body. Okay. So let's go ahead and put the flick. So tap the knee down. Tap the heel down. Flick. Okay. The first one, just getting used to it. Tap, tap, flick. Now I have some control issues with letting this foot just flick. So I'm trying very hard to release that foot at the end and flick the mud off. There we go. So tap, tap, give it a good flick. Release the energy in that foot. We're holding it so tight here because we're using the muscles, and then just let it go. A big flick. Tap, tap, flick. 2 more. Tap, tap, flick. Last one. Tap, tap, flick, and let it go. Whew. Good stuff on the butt. All right, let's go ahead and come to our seated posture. Have a little rock side to side. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down, and just take a moment. If you need some water, by all means, please do. Right now, we're just taking a couple of nice deep breaths, resetting our mind, forgetting all about our butts. We're going to go ahead, inhale those hands all the way up, and exhale them back down. One more time for a big reset. Inhale all the way up, and exhale, come back down. All right, let's go ahead and make our way to all fours again. This time, knees underneath the hips, toes are tucked. I like to stretch the plantar surface of my foot. Anytime you need to put those feet down, feel free. But again, I like to give that little bit of a stretching. Okay, fingertips outside of your shoulders. Okay, so make sure they're outside of your shoulders this time. And you've got the bends at the side. Right? So all I want you to do is bring your chest down, elbows out to the side, not towards your body, out to the side. And then all the way up. This is more chest than tricep. So come on down, squeeze your blades together, and come back up. 2 more times. Exhale down. Inhale up. Your last one comes down. And inhale up. All right. If you find that is pretty good, stay there. If you want to challenge yourself, walk the knees further away from you. Okay. Now you've got a core brace. Okay. Spread your fingertips nice and wide. Bring those knees in a little closer if you need to. If you're good, go ahead and do the same thing. Come down and then push yourself back up. Exhale, come down and push yourself back up. So the angle at which our knees are further away from the center of our body gives us more of a challenge in our chest and our backs as we do this typical push. So we're going to do it one more time and hold here. Now again, this is all about deciding whether you need any more or whether or not you take a break. If you would like a little bit more, you can go ahead and lift up your knees. You should be in somewhat of a plank. And if you like to do standard push-ups, here's your chance to do so. Go ahead, come all the way down, and then press yourself back up. Let's do 3 more of these. All the way down, all the way up. 2 more. Down, and up. Squeeze your butt, brace your core. Down, and up. All right, drop those knees. Push back into your child's pose. Take your front hand off the mat. Take your back hand, put it beside or on top, and then press that back armpit down towards the mat. A couple of nice deep breaths here. All right, shoulders, chest, back. Just a few push-ups, that's all you need. Doesn't matter what version you take, whether it's from knees stacked underneath your hips, knees a little further, or from the toes. It's all working to the same thing. Come back into the center of your mat, and then over to the other side. All right, hand beside hand or hand on top of hand. Now, it's like the same thing in a gym. You see people picking up weights and doing bicep curls and overhead extensions. And you have to start somewhere. You're never going to pick up 50 kilos. I can't imagine anyone doing that except bodybuilders. But like for a bicep curl, you'd be picking up, maybe the 2, maybe the 5. Maybe work your way up to a 10. It's the same thing for push-ups. Don't be discouraged if you can't do any in your toes. You've got to start somewhere. It just takes time. Got to let the body strengthen, get used to the movement. Walk yourself back to the center. We all didn't learn to walk in a day. We just can't remember all that stuff when we were kids. So again, give yourself a break. As a kid, we never worried about trying something new. And as adults, we do. And that's where we have to just let ourselves have some permission to be a kid again. Learn. All right, let's go ahead and bring ourselves up to tabletop position again. Okay. Knees underneath the hips. And go ahead and push into your toes. Once you're here, go ahead and lift up and let your head hang. Push out of your shoulders. And we're just going to walk our heels or walk the dog. So dropping one heel, bending the knee, and then switching again a little bit more into those ankles. Getting a little flex here. And once you've walked a few times to stretch out the calves, the ankles, and the plantar surface of the foot, let's go ahead and walk ourselves up to the top of our mat. All right, let's come all the way to standing and center yourself. Now, again, if you find that being on a mat is a little too squishy and it causes some balance issues, go ahead and step off of it by all means. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, go ahead and keep on your mat. All right, so from here, we're going to plant down our right foot, lift up the left ankle, okay, and roll the shoulders back and down. Okay. We're going to take these hands out to the side, thumbs face up. Okay. From here, we've got a soft knee bend, and we're just going to take the foot and slide it to the back. Okay. So your knee is tracking towards the second and third toe. Your shoulders are backing down, your thumbs are facing up, and you're leaning forward. Okay. So nose passes your toes. And from here, you're just lifting up and putting down. Lifting up and putting down. So up toe, down, up, and down. You've got your core braced. You're leaning forward, and you've got no bend in the knee. The knee is straight. It's a toe tap and down. Your shoulders are working because you have your hands out and your thumbs up. And we're just tapping the toe using that left butt cheek, weighting the right one for balance. If you've got this, stay here. If you want a little bit more, let's just pulse, pulse, pulse. Find your balance. Good. Now, I want a couple more pulses. Straighten that toe, straighten that knee, hold here, balance or tap the toe down. If you're good, we're going to push behind us and then in front. Push behind, squeeze the blades together, and then come back. Squeeze and press, squeeze and press. Make it faster. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Brace your core. Don't arch the butt or the back. Find that balance. Good. Little pulses. Add in the pulses for the foot. Pulse, 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 pulse. Are we feeling this? I'm feeling this. Okay. Who is the person that wants the challenge? Wherever you are, whatever movement you're doing, close your eyes. Oh my goodness. This one's nuts. 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. All right, stabilizer standing, okay? Before we were not using balance. We were propped up. This time, you worked all of those hip muscles, glute muscles, while standing, learning balance as well. All right, we got another side. So go ahead and set yourself up. Maybe a little shake, shake, whatever you need to do. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, come down. One more time, big inhale. And exhale, come down. All right, go ahead and soften those knees. We are putting the weight in the left foot. Let those hands just hang out for a second. And then we're shoulders back and down. We're taking the thumbs out to the side. This time, instead of thumbs up, thumbs down. All right? Not because we don't want to do it. It's not thumbs down because, we don't like it. Thumbs down because we are trying to change the rotation in the shoulder girdle. Okay? We're also switching the ulna and radia, the two forearm muscles, to come down because we got a lot of rotation in the shoulders. This helps us to grab things, open things. So we want to make sure we work both. So turn them, shoulders back and down. This is where your shoulders want to creep up. We are going to slide your other leg back, toe down, lean forward. Check that your knee is in line with your second and third toe, and then lean forward so that your nose is past your toes. Now you've got a good setup. Let's just go ahead and lift the toe up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. You can be slower, you can be a little faster, but we're going to get faster. So we're just good. Brace that core. We don't want to arch the back, so we want to squeeze our butt. So we're going to tuck that tailbone in as opposed to sending our butts out. So from the side view, keep going, keep going. Don't stop. It's not like this, which some of us may compensate in. So we want to tuck the tailbone and then really use your butt muscle. Okay? Let's pulse, 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 pulse. Keep those shoulders up. Don't let them hang down. Squeeze the blades together. Palms down. Active through the fingertips. All right. Now that we've got this, you can put the toe down or just hang out in the air. Back and forth. Back and forth. Brace the core. Pulse the air. Find something on the floor that isn't moving. Now that we've done this a few times, go ahead and pulse. 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 Keep the hands high. See how high you can get those pinkies in the air. Turn the thumbs down. Brace your core. Point that toe out. And add the foot in if you're ready. Pulse. 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 All right. So we've been doing this. Stop if you need to. If you're good, you may try the ultimate in balance, which is to close your eyes. Close them for 4 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, release that. Shake it out. Whew. All right. Shoulders and legs at the same time. Give it a shake, shake. All right, let's just go ahead and come nice and wide. All right, soften your knees here. Go as wide as it makes sense for you. Shoulders back and down. And walk your hands down into the top of your quad. Okay? Take that right shoulder, drop it down, and push into your quad. My thumb is now wrapped around inside of thigh. And then do the same thing on the other side. Just a nice little shoulder release here. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. 2 more times. All right. And go ahead and press into your toes, into your heels equally. Let's roll our shoulders back and down and stack up. Okay. We're going to inhale the hands all the way up. We're going to sink down a little bit more. Again, knees are not caving in, they're pushing out. So if you find that your knees are inside of your foot, we either hope that we can use our muscles to push them out, or if the stance is too big, bring the stance in. No problem. Again, knees track towards the second and third toe and sink down. Okay, now that we're nice and deep, we're going to lift up that right heel. My hands are on my thighs. You can wrap them around your knees, but I prefer on the thighs so we're not pushing onto those kneecaps. Okay, so here and down. You should feel the inner thighs kicking in. Lift the heel, again, getting that work in the heel and coming down. Lift and down, lift and down. Now, some of us might tend to do this. So we want to make sure our core is locked on. Again, it's all about core. Shoulders back and down. That's why your hands are on your thighs. To sink in and just lift and lower, lift and lower. This will help when we do both. Let's go. Lift. Ooh. And lower, inner thighs. Lift and lower. Two more. How's everyone doing? Can you do it without your hands on your thighs? Oh my. Shoulders back and down, hands out. Just three. Just three. Yes. Thumbs up. 3, 2. You got it. One and hold, one and hold, one and hold. Turn the thumbs down because you know you love it. It's almost over. Release. Okay, so hopefully you felt those quads work. Okay, inner thighs. Shake it out. All right, let's get back to the floor. Go ahead and make yourself down onto your mat. Let's end with some posterior work for the back. A little bit more for the glutes. We were just on the front of those legs, so let's go ahead and get into the back. Back body, posterior chain. It's the powerhouse of your movements. All of your walking, running, jumping, it needs the power in the back for that movement. All right, so hands, palms up. Okay, if you turn your palms down, it's not wrong. It's not wrong. Okay, but this gives you more of a challenge. Shoulders away from your ears, heels real close to your bum. Standard bridge pose. Go ahead and inhale yourself up. And exhale, lower yourself down. Let's do that a couple of times just to make sure our back is feeling it. We did some cat-cows earlier, but I want to make sure that we've got some ability to bend into the back and then slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, come down. Now again, spinal articulation, difficult, so we're trying to lift up spinal vertebrae by vertebrae and then slowly come down. This takes some concentration. Now, if you can't get the spinal manipulation, it's okay. Something to practice on, but let's try it one more time. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Each one has its own moment of time on and off the mat. And then slowly come down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Some people might find coming up easier. Some people might find coming down easier. But it's all about controlling and finding each vertebrae individually. Okay, so now instead of doing the rolling up, I just want you to go ahead, press into those heels, and just lift the pelvis up. So no rolling, just squeeze your butt and lift up, and then come back down. Inhale, lift up, and come back down. One more time, inhale up, and come back down. All right, inhale, come up. See if you can lift your back knee, put it down. Front knee, 90 degrees, put it down. Okay, back, tap, front, tap. One more time. Good. And tap, lower all the way down. All right, a little hands out to the T and a side to side with the knees. Yeah. So we're well aware of our posterior chain now. We're going to bring those hands back, palms up, shoulders away from the ears, heels close to your bum. We're just going to practice having some fun with, again, the range of motion through where our feet are placed. Okay, so go ahead and lift up. Slowly come down. Walk your feet further away from you, and then lift up, and then slowly come down. Now I was just participating. Walk those feet out a little further. I was participating in a class myself. I'm not always the teacher. Sometimes I'm the student. It's always good to have different perspectives in life. And the teacher that day decided to do this one, and I had forgotten all about it. So we are practicing it now. So walk those feet out a little bit more. Drive into those heels. Just lift your butt up. Squeeze. And we should be noticing that it's changing more from the glutes to the hamstrings every time we move our feet out. So go ahead and lift up. That's why I like to encourage people that are coming to my classes to try other teachers, walk those feet out, because you never know what they do might be something that really resonates with you. And slowly come back down. How far are you out? Are you out almost all the way? I want you to be at the point where you're almost on your heels now. And come back down. Walk out as far as you can. Maybe those heels, maybe those toes are off when you come up. Maybe they stay down, but you're almost flat. Squeeze. That's almost all of your hamstrings. And slowly lower down. We're going to walk ourselves back in. So once you've reached your furthest one, walk the feet back in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Go ahead, walk in. Lift up. And lower. Go ahead, walk in. Lift up. And lower. Last time, your heel should be really close to your bum. Go ahead and lift up. And lower. All right, take those hands out like a T. Drop the knees side to side. We're going to bring those knees into our chest. We're going to pull them in. We're going to slide our hands down to find our ankles or the sides of our feet, the outsides of our feet. Put the soles of the feet together. Bring your toes in towards the midline of your body and pull the knees out. So you don't have to look like me for sure. I just want you to have the knees coming out and the feet coming in. Okay? Tuck your tailbone down. Tuck your chin in and see how flat you can get the spine. Fully supported. Just allowing our backs to relax after all that work. We're going to be able to peel those feet apart from one another, flexing at the ankle and letting the knees drop out to the side. And if you're holding onto your feet, you're able to give it a little bit of a pull down. Tuck that tailbone down again because the tailbone wanted to come up. Tuck that chin in again and lengthen out that spine. If you want to rock your baby, just go side to side. See if you can keep that tailbone down. See how much you can feel your inner thighs stretching. Giving a little bit of a massage to the back. And let's just stop that one there. And now we can start to straighten our knees out. Okay, so if you're here today, that's great. If you have more knee bend, that's fine. If you want to go ahead and your hamstrings are feeling okay and you come out to that full V, that's good. But you'll see my butt lifted. I'm going to now try and tuck it down. If you can see, it's not a big movement, but I've just tucked my tailbone down, and that really gets into those hamstrings. I'm also getting a flex in the feet. And when you're ready, bring the heels together. And then slide your hands up to your knees. Go ahead, push those knees together. And then let your feet come down. All right, walk the feet so that they are outside of your shoulders. Let your knees drop to the back. Look to the front. And then switch to the other side. Again, just releasing the hips. We did a lot of work for the hips today. Release into the back. And then if you want to rock and roll yourself up to seated, you can pull your knees into your chest. Hold on to them, tuck your chin, and just start a little rock, a little spinal massage here. Like a little ball, rolling ourselves backwards and forwards until maybe we find a seated position. All right. Go ahead and come into seated. Shoulders up, back and down. Inhale your hands all the way up. And exhale down through the center. Let's do that one more time. Big inhale. And exhale. Good. Inhale your hands all the way up. Go ahead, grab your right wrist with your left. Your right butt cheek stays down. You go over to the left side. Big stretch here. Inhale all the way up. Switch and tip again, keeping your butt like it's in cement, not lifting. All the way up. Bring those hands down. Go ahead and bring your right hand across. Bring your left hand underneath. We can either just pull in, or if you want a little bit more, backs of the hands or palms. And from here, we're just taking those elbows and sending them all the way up to our eyesight. Then we're able to go ahead and pull those hands away from your forehead. We're going to stretch in the back. And then if we want even more, we can take those elbows, exhale, and dive into round that spine, opening up those shoulder blades. Today I've been asking you to pull your shoulder blades up, back, and down. This is forward and rounded. Inhale all the way up. Maybe take a little back bend. Exhale, dive. Just giving a stretch to those shoulders. Inhale, back up. And one more time, exhale into the belly button. If you can, see if your fingertips can touch the floor. Tuck your chin in, really round that spine out. And then release. We'll do everything on the other side to give the other shoulder the equal stretch. Inhale your hands all the way up. Left hand comes down. Right hand wraps underneath. Okay? And we can stay here and just dive forward, bringing that elbow in. Okay, that might feel good. Just try it. You might notice that getting more of a deltoid stretch here. Or you can put the backs of the hands together. Totally fine, and then we can go. Or you can possibly not interlace, but cross the forearms and get those palms to touch. If you're in this one, we're lifting the elbows up to eyesight or pulling the hands away. That should give you a nice deep stretch in the back of that left shoulder. And then if you're ready to, exhale, bringing your elbows into your belly button, rolling those shoulders away from each other, opening up the spine, and then inhaling to a back bend. Again, these shoulders are separated while we're doing this cat-cow. Inhale, rise up. One more time. Exhale, dive. Inhale, rise. Exhale, unwind, release. Hands on your shoulders. Roll your shoulders up, back and down. Sit up nice and tall. Eyes closed if you'd like. And we're just going to take our head over to the right side, ear to shoulder, shoulder, relax. Then sometimes in our practice, we hold tension in our traps. So we're just trying to relax that out. Sometimes it's in the jaw, so relax the muscles of the face. And if you're comfortable, close your eyes. Nice deep breaths. Still sitting up nice and tall. You need a little bit more. Taking your right hand, placing it on the temple, not pulling the head, but just letting the head be weighted down by the hand, not being pulled down. Let's take our chin, just turn it down slightly, walk our hand just behind your ear. If you don't have your hand on your head, then you just tip your chin down. Then if you are able to lift up your left hand, lift it up with your thumbs up out to the side, turn the thumb down, and then reach behind you. Nice big scaling stretch here. Bring your thumb down towards the floor. If you've reached left hand behind you, bring it back to your knee. If right hand is on your head, just place the hand back on your knee. And then the last thing you do is you lift up that head and you can feel a nice big stretch down that down that left side. We're going to do the other side now. So sit up nice and tall. Hands can always stay on the knees. Closing the eyes if we're comfortable. Relaxing the shoulders. Letting the ear drop to the shoulder. And if your neck is particularly tight, you'll probably be feeling traps, maybe feeling, relax that jaw out. Sitting up nice and tall, you have a tendency to want to roll those shoulders forward. So again, sitting up nice and tall, using your core muscles. Part of the problem of having a nice chair with a back on it is that we can slouch into it or lean back into it, and that means that we're not using our core muscles. So if you have an opportunity to sit more on a stool that doesn't have a backing, then you're going to engage your core a lot more. And then if you're ready to put your hand on your temple, feel free to do that. Again, not a pull, just a rest. Nice deep calming breaths. And so much of our modern day society is sitting in chairs with backs, so our cores don't get strengthened as much anymore. Our shoulders tend to roll forward because we do slouch. So your practice today is anti those forward anterior pull. We focused a lot on the posterior just to balance it out. You want to bring that chin down to your chest on the diagonal and walk your hands just behind your ear. You can do that. You might find that stretch gives you a little bit more. Different part of the trap. You can always take your right hand, thumb up, and stretch it out and just see if that changes anything for you. You can keep it there. You can do the thumbs down and push behind and see if that does anything. And then bring that thumb down towards the ground. And really stretch, reaching your fingertips and your thumbs away. If that right hand is floating in the air, go ahead and place it back on the knee. Before you do anything with your head, lift that left hand off and put it back to your knee. Then lift up your head. Go ahead and just tuck your chin, sit up nice and tall. And then look up to the sky. One more time, a tip. And then look up. Tuck the chins down. The next one, rise those hands up. Our last few breaths together. Inhale all the way up. Exhale down. Let's do that one more time. Big reach, big rise, big inhale. And exhale, let it go. Hopefully you enjoyed the class today. I will be posting probably a yin class next week. It'll be more of a relaxing class. So if you've been looking for one of those, that'll be coming next week. And other than that, if you have any comments, please put them in the comments. I do get notifications when someone sends me a comment. If you have my email address, feel free to contact me. And otherwise, have a wonderful rest of your morning, afternoon, evening. Take care.